Welcome to Worship Wednesday, church. We're glad to have you here. We're going to teach you a new song. It's called Graves into Gardens. Oh, I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. A man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley, and there's not a place where mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing. Nothing is better than you. He turned our mourning. You turned mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can.
It's one of my favorite new songs right now is Graves into Gardens. Why? Because I think it's such a beautiful picture that really proclaims scripture. From the beginning of the song right to the end, it actually pulls truths out of scripture, and we have this opportunity to proclaim who God is. How often, I talked about, I think last time we did Worship Wednesdays, how often do we need those moments where we remind ourselves of what does God actually say? I'm going to read through the words. It says, I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. A man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every single desire is now satisfied here in your love. Every desire that we have, really the only thing that can satisfy them for long term is who God is. Every thing that we strive after of what man says, everything we strive after of treasures and our houses and our things and all that stuff that we have really is nothing in comparison to when we understand who God is. Verse 2 goes into, I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all. and you still call me friend. Because the God of the mountains is the God of the valleys, and there's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. I don't know about you, but we live in a world that is extremely critical. It seems like everything you do is picked apart, whether or not your intention was good or not. What Scripture says is God sees all of that, and He chooses and says, I still want to be your friend. I see all of your mistakes. I see all of your good, all of your bad, all the times where you feel like maybe you put your foot in your mouth, all the times where you think back and said, I should have stood up, I should have said something, I should have done something. All of those moments, He sees them all, and He says, you are my friend. God is the God of the mountaintops and the God of the valleys, and the more that we understand that He is in the midst of the good and the bad, that He is present in everything and good in it all, the sooner we get to walk in the fullness of what He has for us. The sooner we understand His complete mercy and grace. And when we understand His complete mercy and grace, we have an opportunity to extend that mercy and grace to others. The bridge, let's go through it. You turn mourning to dancing. It's right out of Psalms 30. I encourage you as I go through some of these scripture verses, write them down, go read them after. You turn mourning to dancing, right out of Psalms 30. You give beauty for ashes, Isaiah 61, 1-3. You turn shame into glory. The whole redemption story of what Jesus came and did is this idea of turning shame into glory. You're the only one who can. Bridge 2. You turn graves into gardens. We're going to come back to that one. You turn bones into armies, Ezekiel 37, 1-14. You turn seas into highways. The whole story of the Red Sea parting. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens, and we're going to end here before we sing it again. I read this quote, and it says the difference between cemeteries and a garden is the dead bodies. The difference between a cemetery and a garden is the dead bodies. And what God says is, Jesus rose from the dead. He has the opportunity, He has the ability to take what seems like it's dead in your life and turn it into a beautiful garden, because He will remove the dead. He will remove what seems lost and seems decrepit and seems what is decomposing, and He will make it into something beautiful that is a garden. As we sing it again, I encourage you on this Wednesday night, or whenever you're listening to it, to sit in His presence, to pay attention to the words that are being sung, because it's not just pretty music that sounds good, although it does. It is proclaiming the goodness of God. It is proclaiming truths that Scripture talks about who He is. And when we can proclaim things with our mouths, something happens. Something happens in our spirits. Something happens in the realms around us. So let us proclaim His goodness together. Let's sing it again.
All right, church, you ready to sing? Oh, I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. A man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. Oh, there's nothing Woo! Thanks for joining us, church.